What's going on YouTube? JT Jaborn here. Welcome back to another Godzilla vs. Kong news related video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a potential of a Godzilla vs. Kong delay. Now, this article comes straight from Deadline. They're a pretty reliable Hollywood-based news source. And they talk about how Dune and Godzilla vs. Kong are under kind of like these crazy negotiations from Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures. There's some rumblings going on about these movies. So, and the reason I say that there's a potential for it to be delayed is because they're going to be threatening legal action, and Warner Brothers is pretty much considering having Dune being pulled from the HBO Max situation and being straight to theaters. And if that's the case, they'll probably do something similar for Godzilla vs. Kong. Or there's another suggestion that this article makes. So, so again, this has to do with the whole hybrid release strategy, where Warner Media, I should say Warner Media, not necessarily Warner Brothers, Warner Media, because they're owned by AT&T, and they're more of a, they're not a movie studio. Like, they don't really, like, they're very different. Like, they're a tech company, like, who just, are they tech? Would you classify? They're not like, they're not used to dealing with movie studios, so they're not really in that type of business. They're all about the streaming and all that other stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about this thing. And basically, the whole hybrid release strategy basically, blindsided the entire industry. And it blindsided the filmmakers, it blindsided other studios. It was really, like, I get they're trying to boost HBO Max subscription numbers, because the subscription numbers for HBO Max, while they have improved, they're nowhere near the numbers of a Netflix or a Disney Plus or Hulu or any of the other competition. HBO Max is getting their asses handed to them in the streaming wars. And you know what? I'll say this, though. I like HBO Max. I think it's got some really great content on there. Like, their movie selection, I think, is better than Netflix. And they got some good shows in that on there. They have a really nice library of content. But the thing with them is they don't really have any good, like, originals or exclusives. It's just like, I don't know, like, what's really, like, going to pique my interest on this thing. So that's why they decided, okay, we'll just drop all these movies and that on there. We'll drop Wonder Woman on there starting this Friday, and then we'll start to do all these other, we'll do our entire 2021 release straight, no extra charge, unlike Disney Plus, where there's going to be like a premium cost if you want to stream it at home. And we're going to do it all hybrid release same days. If you want to go watch it in the theater, you can go ahead. And that just turned everybody on their head. So let's go ahead and skim down to the part of the article. I will leave a link in the description. But again, it kind of just runs over how, like, other companies have kind of sold their stuff to streaming. But let's go ahead and talk about this most important section of the article right here, which mentions Godzilla vs. Kong, which a lot of people on Twitter were kind of talking about, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and read this really quickly, and then we'll discuss it. And then I'll give my suggestion, what I think should happen, because we're 5 months away from this movie's release date, which is set to be May 21st. And there's been no marketing or anything for this movie outside of that brief 2-second footage from CCXP. Absolutely nothing so far. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So at WB Consultants / former Universal Marketing exec Josh Goldstein is now spearheading campaigns for the 2021 hybrid release slate. The WB marketing president post seems his job is to lose, but Warner Brothers won't name a successor to Blair Witch until her year-end exit, even as reps of talent hold back the possibility their stars won't promote these films unless the back-end deals fall closer to Wonder Woman 1984 than the one-size-fits-all formula WB preferred. I don't know, is the writing in this thing very good? I don't know, it's just... battles big and small are being fought on numerous films. Legendary, this is where the stuff I want to talk about. Legendary is in a big fight that might result in lawsuits after it financed 75% of tentpoles Dune and Godzilla vs. Kong and was completely blindsided. Yes, they gave them no notice or anything like this. If you finance 75% of these 150 or hundreds of millions of dollars are involved, and your distributor blindsided you like this, I'd be pretty pissed too, and I would threaten legal action. So Legendary, I feel like, is in the right here to kind of threaten this, because it's one thing to, like, work together on something like this, but when you completely blindside your co-financier like that, I mean, that's just, in my mind, that's kind of ridiculous. So I feel like Legendary has a case here for something. So Rumors have the solution that breach being to preserve Dune as a traditional theatrical to preserve its franchise potential, and since its October 1st release date falls when after the estimated late spring date when COVID vaccine should achieve herd immunity, Godzilla vs. Kong might stay on HBO Max hybrid in its May 21st slot, but only if Warner Brothers makes a deal with Legendary that uses as a base the $250 million value established when the film was shopped earlier to Netflix. And yeah, so that's kind of the stuff right here we want to talk about. So Legendary is basically like, okay, fine. You want to do the hybrid release thing? Give us the $250 million that Netflix was promising us before you basically, like, you know, put a damper on that deal. Then you can have the dual release thing that you're so desperately want. So keep in mind, HBO Max is only in the States. It's not released internationally, so they would still like have the worldwide distribution in theaters and everything there. So if you're Legend, you're like, okay, we'll get $250 million right up front, and then we'll make money off the theatrical stuff, and you can get your streaming stuff that you guys want to have. So that's their thinking. I doubt that Warner Media is going to pay $250 million additional dollars just to have Godzilla vs. Kong go straight to streaming, especially when they're having all these other films going there. They're just not going to do it. Netflix, it was just going to be exclusively to that. But Warner Media, I don't think they have the cash. Well, I think they do, but I don't think they're really going to, like, $250 million just for it to have a hybrid release. I doubt that's going to happen. So I think maybe the film has the potential to be delayed. If they can't come to an agreement, that's why marketing hasn't started yet, I'm pretty certain, because they're just like, you have 5 months until this movie is supposed to come out, and you have no marketing, you have nothing going on for this movie. Again, rumors are speculating that we might get a trailer this Friday, or maybe even Saturday. I think that would be cool. But because of all this legal stuff going on back and forth, and the fact that Legendary and Warner Brothers are kind of battling over this thing, my suggestion would be to delay the film. Yes, I know fans are really frustrated about delays, but I think for the best case scenario is to delay this film to September. I'm not there's really not much else in terms of competition. I think it's like Death on the Nile. That's about it. My suggestion, delay it to September. Warner Brothers has had very good success in September. They released It. They released The Nun. They released It Chapter 2. It was the first R-rated film ever to make $100 million in its opening weekend, and it grossed $700 million. And It Chapter 2 grossed, well, like close to $500 million. Not nearly as big a success as the first film, but it did very well. And The Nun grossed over $300 million by being released in September. And again, this is Godzilla vs. Kong. There's far less competition in September. It has a better chance to play internationally with the vaccines out and more people willing to go back to the theaters. That's my suggestion. It'll put yourself give yourself a little bit more distance between the virus and the vaccine. Plus, May is already stacked enough as it is, and I don't think Godzilla vs. Kong has the best chance to be as successful in May as it would in September. Yes, there's always going to be competition, but due to like the uncertainty of when the whole vaccine situation is going to like play out and people are willing to kind of go outside and do stuff again, and like all the heavy competition and all that other stuff, and plus they haven't really started marketing yet, I think September is the ideal release date for this thing. And again, they haven't really like announced anything what they're going to do with this, because they can always pull things from their streaming platform and keep them straight exclusively to theaters, like James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. That's another big movie, which I'm surprised that they're going to have straight to streaming and theaters. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. My suggestion, move it to September and just have it released theatrically then. And I think you should be good to go at that point. That's my suggestion. Again, I don't know where the landscape of things are going to be in 9 months, but I think that's the way to go. They've already got vaccines rolling out now, and hopefully things will start to really kind of start to normalize again. I think things are forever changed, but I think a more of a sense of normalcy will happen again. And I think theaters will start to do well once more content is coming out to them. But anyways, what are your thoughts on this news? Do you think Godzilla vs. Kong is going to get delayed? I think has a strong chance of getting delayed because of this whole negotiation thing. I think they're going to probably pull it from the release schedule. Again, my suggestion would be to push it to September. I know it sucks for fans that we have to keep waiting and waiting for something to do with this movie, but I think it would be the best case scenario for the film at this point. But anyways, tell me your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, hit that bell for notifications, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more Godzilla vs. Kong news and other sort of content and stuff. Really appreciate everybody watching this video. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Post your comments down below. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.